So today I'll be reviewing Pokemon Journeys episode 79, The Moon and Sun, Koharu and Haruhi. And nothing major happened in this episode. This was another Chloe focused episode with Eevee and its evolutions, Espeon and Umbreon, so let's talk about it. So the episode starts off with Chloe and the professor looking at Espeon and Umbreon, and they mention the Eclipse Castle in Johto, where Espeon and Umbreon are cherished as special creatures. So after learning about them, Chloe decides that she wants to meet them, and so they all decide to head to Eclipse Tower for the upcoming festival. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is an anime exclusive location. It isn't the Tin Tower or Bell Tower. So after they arrive at the Eclipse Castle, Ash and Go meet the current lord of the castle and learn the history of the Eclipse Castle and the Eclipse Festival. After that, we switch over to Eevee, who jumps off a cliff but is saved by Espeon, who saw into the future. After that, Chloe meets her secret twin Haruhi and they dress up as each other, just like Dawn did back when she met her clone in Sinnoh. After that, Chloe talks to Haruhi about her Eevee and how it's special, and Haruhi tells her about how both her Eevees evolved into Espeon and Umbreon on the same day and night, and then she talks about how they make up for each other's flaws and support each other, and says that humans and Pokemon can do the same and that by supporting each other, they can live an easier life. And after hearing that speech, everyone is impressed. After that, we learn more about the history behind the attack and how it was done by the former Lord's brother, and Haruhi says that she'll make sure that something like this never happens again. After that, we switch over into the main plot of the episode, which starts with Chloe getting kidnapped because she's mistaken for Haruhi, and somehow Ash and Go didn't notice even though they were in the same hallway within the same 10 seconds that happened. But eventually Eevee shows up and Ash and Go head out to rescue Chloe. And while that's going on, the ninja kidnapper shows up and realizes that he got the wrong girl, and this eventually leads to him threatening to keep Chloe unless Haruhi makes him the new lord. But that plan fails since Ash and Go were able to track down Chloe thanks to Eevee using telepathy to find her, just like how Espeon did earlier in the episode. And so this leads to a battle between Haruhi and Katsuki, and Haruhi ends up winning with the power of the Eclipse and with Eevee helping out. After that, we learn that Katsuki is a descendant of the brother who betrayed the former lord, making them relatives, and Haruhi proclaims that she is the new lord and that Katsuki will be helping her since they've been waiting for their missing moon. And the episode ends with Haruhi saying that they'll support each other like Espeon and Umbreon and that they'll move forward. And that pretty much wraps up the episode. I think this was a pretty cool episode. The plot was somewhat interesting and I think this would make a good side story, but this didn't really do much for Chloe and Eevee. This episode was supposed to be another evolution focused episode that pushed forward Chloe's growth as a character and her development with Eevee so that they can decide what Eevee will eventually evolve into or not evolve into. But this episode felt more like an Umbreon and Espeon lore episode, especially with the story of the castle. I thought the clone character theme coming back was pretty cool, but it was only really used for a wow they look alike moment and oh let's kidnap her by accident moment, but it did lead to Eevee using telepathy or foresight, whichever move it was. But we've seen Eevee copy moves plenty of times already, so I wasn't really all that surprised because it's not all that unique anymore. One thing I really liked in this episode was all the new soundtracks that they added, and I really appreciate when they do that. I also think that Koharu's voice actor did a really good job in this episode, especially when it comes to Chloe and expressing herself with her voice. But with all that being said, I'd give this episode a 6 out of 10. I would say that it's worth watching, but probably not twice. With that being said, that pretty much wraps up the video. I have a few videos planned for next week, including one about Gengar, so stay tuned for that. But with all that being said, thanks for watching and bye.